you've been able to hack the
Gibson.
right, that you've been able to make intrusions and hack it. I'm asking what Rahul's next step would be now that he's armed with this knowledge of the hardware.
I mean, I would probably use the modified headset for a bit. Try to see if it's getting traced or not. And if it's not getting traced, then modify the other headset and go from there.
Now, see, that's an interesting question because you've used the headset both off the grid, I mean, in its own isolated computer. And did you actually? I don't think you actually. No, you did use the modified headset. Wait. Okay, guys, I apologize for remembering this. How exactly did you create your items and give themselves to you? Did you log into the game itself and modify it to give yourself? Right, because you had to do that to get to the database. Okay. So the question is, I guess by tracking is a weird question for me because in order to log into the MMO, you'd have services to know where you were.
I think we did that during downtime when no one was playing and tried to scrub it.
Well, I thought you spoofed an IP or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, I guess the question would be if they're tracking it, I mean, yes, in the way they track all of their users. There's no built-in wireless or anything in the headset. And you, I think with the successes you scored, you didn't, register any, the headset wasn't, I guess, calling for help or telling anyone I'm a stolen headset, come get me.
No, my idea is that we need to make sure that our modifications to the headset will not trigger any alarms as we.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, and that's kind of a loaded question because you guys went to the game and just fucking cheated. So,
yeah, but people are doing it left and right, apparently.
Yes, but also we were not using our modified headset to cheat. It was a separate instance.
Wasn't it not? I thought it was.
I would have to say that based on even though this is somewhat romantic, based on what I know, I know that many modern computers give up a lot of information about their hardware. Each Intel chip has a unique serial number that it will give up to websites if you ask for it. I don't know what Overwatch uses for their cheat protection, but I've heard that it's sophisticated enough to, know what machine logged in. I'm guessing it's using a variety of methods to know what the machine is. So, as near as you would be able to tell, and I can't think of any reason why they wouldn't do this, when you log into the Vital Hearts game, it's going to check your hardware ID to make sure that you have a valid hardware, and it's going to transfer that ID information to a remote. It's telling other computers what your unique hardware identifier is. So if you log in,
your internet browser can in fact give up certain details about your computer, like what operating system you're using, resolution of your monitors, how many, because there's some information that's necessarily to render a page.
Right.
But that information can be used to build up a profile of what this user looks like off of details that aren't likely to constantly change. Like, you're not going to swap out monitors every time you log in.
Right. Well, I'm going one step further and saying this was an issue back in the 90s. People were losing their shit over this. That a browser can ask your Intel chip for a unique serial number and report that unique serial number to other people. So literally your processor. And people were upset about that in the 90s. Here it is, 2019, and well, anyway.
And things haven't changed because no one solves problems. Oops.
Right. So that aside, to answer Avery's question, somewhere in the chip is somewhere in your device. Your device has a unique hardware identifier that does give up to the main database of the MMO when you log in.
Yes, but that's not the problem. The problem is our hacked headset getting discovered as hacked or not?
Go ahead.
If they don't discover it quickly, then we can proceed with installing modifications on more headsets and having a broader base of testing. And while if they discover this quickly, we need to find a different alternative approach to it. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, and the answer is, I think what you're asking is largely would be like a human based question, or perhaps even a bot based question. You don't. There's probably not a lot of people. You might actually even be the only one in the wild who has a headset like this that's been modded like this. So egregious cheating, like giving yourself, I gave myself an endgame item, and now I'm wandering around the game with an endgame item. I mean, if someone else reported that, or someone saw that in the game, they might flag your account, look to where it came from, and eventually trace it to, hey, someone logged in using this headset to do this, and they might, so they might pin it to the hardware that way.
Well, which is why I put it away before we went to an open area. I only ever drew the thing when we were in a locked dungeon with just us.
But
yes.
Go ahead.
That's not my problem. My problem is about automatic classification. Do they find us quickly or do they find us slowly? Because at some point they will.
Right.
So if they don't find us quickly, then I see no point in not implementing this modification in other headsets. If they do find us quickly, then it means that they have thought about what we have done, and we need to find another route.
So the question I would have is, how would you find out if they found out about you quickly? I mean, you try logging into the game and seeing if your account's banned. That's the first thing I could think of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to find out if they found out about you quickly, that sounds to me like the only way to find that out is to just wait and see if they banned you or something like that, unless you had some other method in mind.
Google search.
You could.
My name is on a list of recent bannings.
You could search the internet, and also this is a little Cinemax in the deep web. You guys could do searches on the internet and ask, "Hey, hello, fellow teens. Have you heard about anyone using hacked headsets to get into the game? Not that I've been doing this." I mean, that would be something you could do.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have to be like that thick about it. Literally, you could just share our anecdotes about the cheater PvPers that came up and, hey, what do you think that happened? Could it be hacked headsets?
I think that's how we figured out how to do this in the first place.
Yeah, and I'm suggesting, but that's a question of how well you rolled. Like, if you guys roll no successes, like, hello, fellow teens. If you guys roll 4 successes, it's I'm deep diving into the internet with 12 fake identities.
Literally, the best way that I could do that is to meet them at a bar.
I love the fact that you have, you have the ability of carousing.
Yeah. I have no social skills, but I'm good at drinking.
You have social skills. You have drinking social skills.
Yeah. I just mean actual skills, like mechanical skills.
Well, we one of the major reasons we reworked the proc mechanic was just to say, if you just go to a bar, you automatically score 1 success.
Yeah. So if I find a person who plays the game at the bar, I'm good.
Well, I don't go to a lot of bars, but the last time I did, they were watching League of Legends on the sports TV.
Yep, I think ESPN picked that up for a bit.
Yeah.
No,
well,
I mean, way back in the day, they were had a Magic the Gathering tournament on ESPN, so...
Right. So, I'm guessing, and also this is an anime. So, by the rules of anime, the one thing the anime cares about is the one thing everyone in the world cares about:
children's card games.
Children's card game.
Nobody's just like half-heartedly enthusiastic about it. It's like you're either into it or you're a villain trying to destroy it.
Or a rural farmer.
Yeah, to flip that around a bit, one of the reasons why I like Serial Experiments Lain and to a lesser extent .hack is because they both imply, hey, there's a world going on outside the stupid games yet.
Well, yeah, but that was something we talked about. It's the DVD extras, where that entire series is based on the people that are in the real world trying to figure out what happened to their friends who went into comas and never came back.
Right. That's something I respect about those series. So yeah, no, in theory, you guys, I'm sure Vital Hearts is the buzz in all of Japan because it's so technologically, past everything else. But people
and somebody got shot at the convention.
Someone got shot at the convention. It was just an American.
Oh, there's also a dead body.
It's like Warcraft. Everyone's going to know the name. Not everyone's going to have played it.
We can never get through a game of Vital Hearts without me going straight to Persona. Who wants to talk about murder?
I mean, literally none of our characters actually know about it.
But mostly what made the news on that was that there was the Pacific Consumer Expo where Americans came and there was an incident of violence, and the police haven't released the name. There's rumors that someone was hurt and or killed, but that was never actually released to the press. And most of what came out of that in Japan is there is some level of fear. Now, I hope you guys are sitting down when I say this. Okay. But there is a wave of nationalism in Japan.
Gasp. Glad I put my seatbelt on.
And Vital Hearts and Zaburo, the company that makes Vital Hearts, has become a bit of national pride because this VR game is way past anything anyone else can do, including Arabica, Altamont, the not Apple Corporation in this world.
Yeah, if this was Sword Art Online, it'd be called Wrath.
Yeah, in the fiction of this setting, Altamont is basically Apple. They're this big monolithic company that is incredibly annoyed that some no-name Japanese company is making their VR look bad.
In SAO, it's the Wrath is the American company that runs Gun Gale Online.
Gun Gale. That is the best name ever.
Well, because in SAO you can transfer your character from one game to the other, and whatever stats overlap, you can. So it's just basically a big old transfer system. So you can transfer your fantasy character from Elfheim Online into Gun Gale Online.
Well, but I just like that name. It's like the weather report today. Reporting high winds of bullets. Ah!
From an in-character standpoint here, though, I feel like the biggest thing that stood out to me in the news was this hero named Tetsu who saved a man's life.
Yeah, but he was
throwing a phone at a gun.
But he wasn't actually interviewed for the press, which is interesting.
Yeah, it was like a page 10 in a local newspaper.
No, well, actually not interviewed at all. But
damn it! He was a fucking hero, goddammit.
See, and also I feel bad because I've run this adventure for different people, and like you guys are nowhere near Team Crime. Like I appreciate Rahul's level, but one group I ran it for, they were all instead of Rahul, a token criminal, and everyone else in the party, they were all criminals except for the student, and they were like blackmailing everyone.
Yeah, your Yakuza group that had brought in guns and everything.
Yeah, even though like we had like a little bit of team crime going on, we like weren't wholeheartedly into like destroying the world.
Yeah, we were half and half crime because the other half of us was me, the hero, and a cop.
No,
police officer.
the way this anime would be framed, it's you guys like working at the building, doing your stuff, talking about your daily issues, and then we pan to Rahul, who's in his concrete bunker, lit by buzzing fluorescent lights, hunched over his equipment, dressed all in black.
Lighted the monitor on his face and all that.
Hey, I need to look good on my YouTube videos.
Technically, my character is a criminal, but just a different kind than Team Crime.
You guys are low petty criminals. Rahul is moving up into mid-level criminal, and then you guys are it's just like, I want this to be a total caper.
Literally, two of us are basically salarymen, though. Like,
right.
Literally, if there's like 3 main characters here, I am the friend. I'm the Joey to one of you guys. Right. I might get a spin-off one day on my own, but I am literally just the best friend character to one of you guys.
Right, and this was getting into where what we were going to amp up in the book was, because I've been going through I've been cleaning up the language because I want to make sure it reads the way you guys were doing it. The build mechanic is one you guys have already seen, which is where you get to roll twice and add all your successes together. Yep. And one thing that is going in the book is we're going to go ahead and put in influence as a gift, which is the ability to turn any roll into a build roll if you're using influence on it. And this was going to get into different categories of influence, because I think there should be criminal influence, there should be corporate influence, there should be, I guess, celebrity influence. I'm not sure what I would call that, where you're just like some influencer.
You're some sort of pop idol, of course. You know, you're doing the band and playing the MMO.
No, I mean, that's what you could call it. You're an influencer. On YouTube, you're an influencer.
I know, but we can't call it influencer influence. That would be would make no sense. Well, we could. We just get laughed at.
I mean, literally, it just makes the other ones sound weird. Influencer influence. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. What are these other ones?
Yeah, Ken could be making money stealing credit card info, but this. You guys are going from small-time crime, which is petty hacking and identity theft and low stuff, into multi-million-dollar crime, where it's reverse engineering a thing. I'm also we don't have to call it influence. I always like to name game terms after game terms. I think should have 2 things. They should be the natural thing people want to say, and they should also feel appropriate to the genre. Like, I make fun of Vampire because Vampire doesn't call it super strength and super speed. They call it potence and celerity.
I mean,
because
arguably Hiraku is the one performing the largest crime of us all. Corporate espionage.
Right. So the first name that came into my head is the one that we used in Ironclaw, which is influence. Which is because that's in Ironclaw that there are gifts called influence gifts that you tap them and this happens. Like, I have nobility, I tap my influence gift, I invoke nobility. You guys have to do what I say because I'm a noble, and that doesn't recharge until later. Like a cooldown, and I want to keep those. I think those have a lot of value in this game, but we don't necessarily have to call them influence. It's just I'm not sure what you would call them if we didn't call them influence. I think it sounds natural to say, like, and then Rahul used his criminal influence to find out more information about if these devices were being tracked.
Clout.
Clout is the word I would use. I love the word clout. I think it's awesome. I just think that people would more likely say criminal influence than criminal clout.
Leverage?
Connections?
Connections are also good.
But then again, that doesn't imply, like, control over it. That just implies, like, being associated with it.
Leverage works for a back and forth.
And the reason why I'm using influence is because I wanted that to just be a vague word that implies that like, I want one of the design decisions in the game, and this has been in most of our games, has been specialty bonuses to do specific things while the skills themselves are pretty broad. Questioning, for example, is the broad skill of asking, hey, have you guys heard about people getting banned for cheating because of microchips? That's a vague question. And just wandering around with vague questioning skill, it's a generic skill that's expensive to buy up, and the amount of successes you have to get to know something that was a big insight would be very rare. By having an influence gift, we can say, like, well, who are you going to question? And I'll say, well, I'll go ahead and question criminals because I'm good at that. And I'll say, well, you've got Streetwise, that gives you a bonus with criminals. But going one step further and saying, well, I've got a extra influence that I can tap to roll twice. And I think these are all good suggestions, but I think we'll probably just go with influence because I think that's the most obvious.
Yeah, there's nothing really wrong with it.
It always sounds weird when you say influence, and I think it'd be easier to find another word for YouTube annoying people than it is for. Plus, also, I think influence, by making it a gift, it sounds more like what people expect. So, yeah. And one thing I worry about is we do have double duty here because we do have like gifts like Streetwise and Carousing, which give you specific bonuses in those certain situations. But then you have influence, which doubles it. But then again, I don't think that's that weird. Like Rahul starts off as somebody who has Streetwise, and then later gets more criminal influence because he's a major player. Dude, I'm on the internet.
Cat's turn to use the internet.
No, he's all. It's his thing. At 8 o'clock in the morning, he wakes me up so he can barf, and then, and now it's noon, and he's just all excited. Yeah. Come here, you stupid idiot. All right. Anyway, moving on from there. Rahul, I guess Rahul just wants to lay low for 24 hours. If you want to make inquiries, that's what I was getting at. Was making inquiries on the internet would be a use of mind, and finding out what people are up to is almost always questioned. Now, programming would apply to this because I'm assuming that you could make bots or look into, you're using computers to do this. Streetwise would also apply because this is crime. If you have any, and as usual, this is something I need to make sure winds up in the final edition of Vital Hearts. The thing I always encourage GMs to do is to ask players, what abilities do you have that would help you find this out?
If your chair is broken, I can fix it.
I would actually not try to, maybe lay low in that sense that I am not trying to use any of the special abilities of the modified headset, but I am definitely going to be using it, so maybe deceit.
Okay, you said you wouldn't be using the headset, but you are going to use the headset. I'm not understanding.
All right, so we have a headset that can cause things to that can cheat.
Yes.
I want to use the headset to play the game, but not to cheat.
Oh, you just want to log in using the headset and see. Okay,
exactly.
And I'm assuming that when you use. Okay, so now I see what you're getting at. You're saying your headset has a unique hardware identifier modifier, but you're also wondering, because you know that you can see that in the packets. But you're also, but you're wondering, if I log in with a cheat-capable headset, does the mere act of logging into the game in a cheat-capable headset set off any alarms that, hey, an unauthorized cheat headset is out there?
Exactly.
And I would suggest that that's two levels there, because first, does the game itself and the packet info in the game, does the game do anything weird when I'm in it? And the other question would be, are any administrators being informed that I'm doing it? The first one, the question is, does the game treat me any differently? That would be pretty easy to figure out because you just log into the game and see if it happens. The second level of if the admins do anything, that's a function of, well, time. Does anyone show up and cancel my account? Or the mind and questioning role that I made there, which is to find out like anything internally among the admins is going on. So yes, we could do that. It would have, like I said, it would have 2 levels to it. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to assume that, like, when everyone else is at their day jobs, since Rahul doesn't actually have a day job, that they you managed to log in during non-peak hours. I'm going to assume that the game, because it's still in open beta, they allow people to log in during non-peak hours, but because there is some political pressure in the future of the Vital Hearts world to discourage people from gaming too much. Like, remember, this is a synthesis of the fear of gacha boxes, the fear of Skinner boxes, and also the health fears, because you guys may have heard about the fat tax that's in Japan. Have you guys heard about that?
I think a little bit.
Right. That the health service doesn't, because people are more sedentary and people are putting on weight because of junk food and that kind of thing. Their overweight is a tax burden. I'm not saying like this is an easy to resolve issue. I'm saying there's this whole perfect storm going on in the Vital Hearts world, that there are people with political and economic influence who are anti VR. There's also a suspicion, getting back to our buddies at the Altamont Company, that the Altamont Company is paying people to be anti VR. Yay, false flags!
Yay.
Right. So you can log on during non-peak time where they only have some of the quests available and the experience point rewards are lower, but you don't care about that. You just want to know if they're going to flag you. Right?
Exactly. And go bam around a little bit, explore the place and so.
Okay. Well, you have academics as a skill and you have programming as a prop, right?
Nope.
Oh, that's right. You're the career criminal. You're not the hacker.
Actually,
I'm the professional programmer.
Yes, I do actually have academics now.
Okay. So yeah, so just logging around. You're right. That's right. I keep forgetting you're the actual criminal. Also, I'm just going to pause a moment and say that one thing I do appreciate about the game is that we have a difference between different kinds of crime. Then you can't actually wrote this to know what it is. You would actually have to make a roll of mind, academics, and programming. I will give you a D8 assist bonus because you're doing this in a very controlled environment and you talk to all of your friends. I'm one of those game masters who believes that it's not like you rushed into this or went in unprepared. So this is just logging into the game and seeing if there's any weird traffic going on. This would be trivial probably for a real programmer, but you don't exactly know what you're doing.
So 1 success.
Okay. With 1 success, that's something almost anyone who knew what they were doing with the computer could figure out. You wander around in the game and go on same trivial quests. Hey, look, it's that same dungeon we're always in all again. Oh no, this door is locked. To open a door, use your console this whatever. Hey, look, it's the same monsters I killed the last time I was here. You wander around in the tutorial areas and start killing. No one obviously flags you. Nothing weird happens. And when you research your packet data, you're not seeing anything unusual. So logging in with the hacked headset doesn't set off any immediate alarms or restrict you. The game treats you just like you're anyone else, as long as you never invoke those functions.
Great.
But now stage 2 goes where you're wondering, well, but did this set off any internal alarms, especially because they're debugging things? Now, as everyone knows, video game companies are run by the most elite professionals who are very well paid, well compensated for their work.
Yep, and at all times under absolutely no stretch or crunch time or anything like that.
Well, but also, knock on wood, that's also more of an American conceit. Like, I think you guys have been seeing all the news about Nintendo. Actually, that might be, I don't know if Sony does it.
I like, comparatively, like, Japanese corporate culture is like, you're just always stressed.
Yeah, well, Japanese corporate culture is like, well, one of my favorite jokes. We're having Chinese food, or as we call it in my native China, food. Oh, and also as an aside, Avery, is it pronounced Punchki? Is that how it's pronounced?
Pączki.
Punchki. Okay, I want to make sure I'm saying that right. For some reason, in February here in the Ohio Midwest, it's Punchki season, so the Punchkis were here. They were delicious.
What is that?
I want to say it's like a jelly donut with apple filling.
Oh.
Oh, that's
You said
cool.
Ponchkis, and I was thinking pierogies.
Yeah. It's a specific type of Polish pastry. I don't know why it's a big deal here in the Midwest.
That's ironic because pierogies are Polish too. So
At
least
because
my
there's
head
a
was
lot
in
of
the right
Polish
spot.
people who immigrated there. That's why.
Yeah, pierogies are more of a East Coast. They're like a thing in Pittsburgh or something.
Yeah, but they're Polish in origin.
Okay. Well,
I know because my family loves Polish food. I have Polish in my blood somewhere. I don't know.
I approve of Polish carbs. They are delicious.
Aha! I have the most pull of anyone.
I feel like my family revels in the nationalities from Europe that got made fun of the most. My last name is French, and my family loves the Poles.
I just like your battle cry. I'm the most Polish person here, and Avery's just silent.
Yes.
Are you Polish, Avery?
Yes.
All right.
A little bit.
Well, I hate your food, Avery. Like,
Alright.
my family loves making that shit, and I hate it. I hate cabbage, and I hate mixing shit
Moving
with cabbage.
on. Sorry I brought that up. I had Punchki yesterday.
Fuck you, Avery! I blame you for this.
So moving on from there, you're not as but the next thing would be the hurry up and wait. And like I said, the only way to do that would be to do some deep diving on, like I said, surfing social channels and making inquiries about that kind of stuff is questioning. I don't think people are asking me if that's observation skill, and I'm wondering, are people just like saying it's observation because they have observation as a skill, and it's what we call hammer theory, where, well, obviously observation must apply because I have it.
That's usually what I go with.
I guess it's because people kind of want to interpret it as I'm just looking at stuff, rather than realizing that part of the process of researching things involves asking questions and knowing what to look for.
Well, I think it's more if you don't have the ability to ask questions in a meaningful manner, you fall back on something you do have, which is staring creepily at people from across the way.
Right, and that's also something we've been looking at other games, but that's another reason. To make a long story short, there's another reason we're adding the menu system so we can have stuff like that. So I assume that Rahul hangs around for an hour or so, gets the note in the game that says, "Hey, why don't you take off the headset and go outside, jog 12 kilometers?" And so, satisfied with that, I get Rahul can go, looks at his several gigabytes of stored packet data. Like, I would love to have a scene in the anime where Rahul goes over his computer, pushes a button, and all the packet data starts streaming on the screen. You can see it like reflected in his eyes. And he pauses and says, "I have no idea what any of this means."
Yes.
Got a lot of it.
That sure is a lot of packet data. Wait, pauses it right there. That looks like a woo. And then just starts scrolling. I don't know what any of this means. But if you wanted to ask, like in the deep forums and among other people about any of that. Those are the skills I can think would be relevant. Meanwhile, I'm thinking that while this is going on, Susano, you're a construction worker, so you're probably still hanging drywall and putting up the office building stuff.
Yeah, I mean, technically not a construction worker, but same thing, I guess.
Oh, what are you, a carpenter?
I mean, I work maintenance in the same building that.
Oh no, you're a maintenance person. Okay. What they probably have you doing then is helping the one of the floors in the building. They cleaned it out, and they're like, I don't know if you've ever seen an office building where they knock down all the walls and then rebuild all of them.
I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, you're probably just helping them take out the trash.
Of course, that's what a maintenance guy is boiled down to these days.
Well, among the other things you're doing, that's like the big news. It's like these guys keep having to fill the dumpster, and you just want to make sure they're disposing of this stuff correctly.
Look, I think I need to, at this point, need to change my motto from "Oh, what a hero you have found in me" to "Hey, if your chair is broken, I can fix it."
Okay, Griffin, what does Hiraku do all day?
I'm working at the same company, but as a programmer.
Okay, so yeah, you're writing yet another bot to post to Twitter or whatever.
Why am I on Twitter duty? I thought they already had me on 3 other assignments.
Well, they have you working on, I don't know, some sort of machine learning neural network buzzword algorithm.
This one will figure out when to automatically look at players and tell them that they're playing horribly.
This begs a question. How many people do you think will be on Twitter in 2050 as a percentage of all the automated accounts? 1%? 0.1%?
Oh man, don't get me started on the inversion. In fact, there'll be a lot more inversion in this. I mean, because I don't want. I've used my rant quota. So passing my rant quota.
We're on cyber Twitter now. That's where all the humans are.
I'm gonna go ahead and Arcloid. What does Hashimoto do all
day? Well, if Rahul didn't need any help with what he was doing, then he's probably making some money by stealing credit card information, or and maybe in his what do you call that, when multitask time, he's either probably playing Vital Hearts and trying to see if he can't get himself a higher level item with a little bit less maintenance work to keep it in hand.
Okay, so you're gonna try and well, I mean, you don't actually have the hacking headset, so you're gonna try to get better stuff. Are you gonna try and cheat in the game, or are you gonna try to like find someone who will sell you something?
Cheat in the game.
Okay. And did we actually give you cheating power yet?
I bought it with XP.
Okay, so you actually have cheating power, and I think in my version it says cheating is actually powered by deceit. So we need to fix that.
In my version, it says academics.
Yeah, I've changed it so it's my deceit and cheating. First of all, I'm a little worried that too much stuff leans on academics, and secondly, I think deceit is the proper skill for cheating.
All right. So, well, let me use my sheet here real quick then, and my macro, so I don't have to keep looking at my sheet and typing. And I have one less die in deceit than I'm doing academics.
Yeah, so, well, invoking cheating power in the game, and I've been revising the cheating rules to make them more powerful, is a roll of mind, deceit, and cheating. The cheating die is a dwindle die, and thus must be marked separately.
Give me a moment.
Yeah, and I realized I didn't have steel gear on the cheating list. That's a big omission of mine. It's only 5 successes to crash the server.
Steel gear. Sorry, I had to do it.
Well, now there is the favorite use rule, which is that if you have a favorite use for something, you get to reroll 1/1. Can you think of any reason why your favorite use of deceit should be cheating at games?
I see no reason.
I mean, deceit's also used for disguise if you want to do identity theft, but you're going to be a cheater instead of an identity thief. Why not both? I should have a macro of that little taco girl handy. Cheater or identity thief? Why not both?
Okay, we'll let D8 and see what happens.
Three successes is enough to start faking low-level items. You discover that if you go into certain... I'm trying to think of what some of the more common glitches are. Like, I'm thinking of the item duplication glitch that you see in a lot of games, that if you fool the server into thinking that you drop something but still have it, some of the weaker databases will spawn another instance of the item.
Pick the item from your menu, then quickly spin 3 times left.
The crazy one that I discovered by accident was in Final Fantasy Tactics, where if you push best equip, it equips the best items. But if you move an item from your right hand to your left hand and choose best equip, it moves the item back to your right hand and keeps the old one in your left hand.
Nice.
So that's an item glitch we found by accident. It only works with certain items, like weapons are supposed to be like, if you equip an item that's normally in your left hand or right hand in the wrong hand, it would duplicate them, and like you could do this totally by accident because you're not paying attention. But I mean, in the interest of the game, it's a little more sophisticated than that. But with 3 successes, you could find a way to dupe items.
Okay, let's dupe some monads.
Okay, what monads do you have?
Let's see what I've got written down. Let me scroll through my sheet here real quick. I can't scroll with my push talk on though because it's my right.
Okay. Also, what's amusing here is that glitches in the game are 444, not 666. So I bet that made racked us up a shiver.
Well, the only ones I have listed are crystal monads, although I think we got some from our first fights in the tutorial level and others. These are the only ones I have actually written down.
Since that's another thing that's on my list, I'm going to assume that with you don't find a way. 3 successes is not enough to make high level items out of nothing, but it's enough to double all of your monads.
I'll just put a note in my monads area where I've doubled my crystal one.
I'm also going to assume that you are greedy and you try to triple them, but tripling them doesn't actually work. That when you try to triple them, man, I'm wondering what an erroneous object in Vital Heart should look like. I always want to go back to the giant flashing error word that you see in old Gold Source games. Squares.
Yeah, that's what they do in Minecraft.
Well, it's also what they do in
Gmod is one example.
Yeah, Gmod was the one I was going to go for. The shape is there, but there's no textures or anything for it. So
yeah. Well, yeah. So
I guess you could go super blurred gray as well.
I think oblong shapes that are textured magenta and green are probably your default glitch object. Yeah, they usually make the missing texture like magenta and black or magenta and green, so it shows up as obviously wrong.
But why would it have a shape but no texture?
Well, it's a glitch object, so
right,
they want.
Well, then should it not also not have a shape?
I'm assuming that in a virtual reality environment, if it has a texture, it has to wrap it around some kind of shape.
I know that you've played Second Life, so you're familiar with objects not having a shape.
Yeah, but usually they're just invisible, right?
No, they res as a cloud.
Oh, okay. I have not logged into Second Life in a while.
Well, yeah, but I mean that was the old way of doing it too. I'm pretty sure it still happens.
Most of what I remember is it wouldn't res at all. Actually, a magenta and green cloud would be pretty interesting. Also, we are supposed to be like anime cinematic. Like in a virtual reality environment, how would you manifest glitches? Especially in a game where you feel hunger, thirst, and pain.
Wouldn't load at all. Second season, Elfheim Online. Half of Kirito's inventory is all glitched out because it went from one game to another where it couldn't exist. He just couldn't bring it out, and it was just errors on his dialogue menus.
Okay, then that's probably what happens when you try to like you perform some sort of trick of rapidly switching stuff. But monads are crafting items. Being able to duplicate crafting ingredients is nothing to sneeze at.
Hey, one of us can craft too.
One rule that's not in the game that you guys are reminding me about is the heat rule that we had from the Bleeding Edge Cyberpunk game, which was the idea of drawing attention to yourself.
Oh no, we're gonna get ice rules now.
Well, the thing I liked about the heat rule, was that it's there for GMs to understand, and also for players to understand, because players don't understand. They only know a crime if they get away with it, whereas the heat rule would be, okay, as longer you do crimes, the more attention you might gather. And making it a random roll was pretty good. I hadn't thought about that for Vital Hearts, but no, I'm thinking about it a little bit more, because like here you have like Rahul specifically trying to find out what the heat is, and here you have Katsu doing something that wouldn't. The way it's covered in the game right now is with glitches, like a glitch triggers something bad. So, that's something to think about.
I would agree that it's a good concept.
Something to think about. Okay, so going back, let's see, Rahul. Okay, so yeah, and then Katsu will get the note. Also, Katsu realizes that he needs to log off, or sorry, Hashimoto log off with his gaming account and log on with one of his numerous fake IDs and do crime.
All right. That will happen then.
Okay. So, other than that, it's largely an uneventful day. So I'm assuming that Rahul is going to try, now that he's logged off, is going to try and make those inquiries that I was talking about to see if there's anything on forums or if he can. Well, actually, now it's the end of the day, Rahul kind of has a problem where Rahul. I assume that Rahul has questioning, right?
Nope.
Do you have criminal influence?
I am a criminal.
Oh, sorry. I meant there's a gift in the game called Criminal, and it wasn't in the last update thing, so never mind. Okay. So yeah, so the skills of surfing forums and trying to get into devlogs and get insider information would be mind questioning with the streetwise and programming. You may want to get some help with that because you may know people who are better at hacking and surfing the deep web than you are.
Yes, that would be useful.
So I assume you call your friend Hashimoto, who's good with crime.
Yes.
Hashimoto, are you going to help Rahul find out if he's? Since you are committing crimes, you want to help. You want to see if there's any buzz about it because Rahul's looking to see if anyone's doing that.
Yeah, that seems like a smart idea.
All right. Well, then one of you gets to be the taskmaster and one of you gets to be the assistant. As I said, it's mind questioning, streetwise, and programming unless you have other things.
All right, let me tally up my dice here. Mind, D6, questioning, do I have that? I don't have questioning. I do have streetwise and programming.
I have only mind and streetwise, so you are better positioned than I.
Okay, you can still assist. I mean, you got Streetwise, so that's one success, so you do give him a D8 bonus. You didn't botch, which is the important thing. Rolling all ones would be, hello, I am on the deep web. Jay, you committed any crimes today?
Streetwise and programming does add successes.
Procs with a hashtag add one success automatically. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. And I want to check the rules here real quick to see if they're echoing what I'm saying. Yeah, it does. I need to make sure I put this in here, like find really rare information. Because this would be enough to find out this would be enough to find a hidden person. But you're actually looking for find a deep secret. So I'm gonna make a note here. Find a secret. Okay. With 4 successes, you're doing some inquiries, see if anything matches the hashtag IDs. I hand wave over what actually the deep web is because I'm not really sure anyone actually agrees on what it is. I know it's supposedly internet that isn't like publicly accessible through standard
You can't
URLs.
Google it, basically.
Yeah, it's stuff that you can't Google, but I'm also assuming it's not on usual IP networks either, and the servers require certain levels. Suffice to say, the two of you know enough about crime. Rahul talks about, this is what I did. Here's some of my packet information. You're hackers, right? Packet information means something to you. Like he knows with his Streetwise, he knows enough to know what computer crime is, or what it entails. And then Hashimoto logs on with one of his false IDs, and does some digging. And the interesting thing about this is, there's 2 things going on here. Normally, the way the headsets are supposed to work is what you would think is they would set up a one-to-one communication with the server. But the data that's coming out here, and guys, I apologize if I'm hand-waving over stuff. This is, somewhat cinematic. The hacked headset that you have is also sending out a different bit of information to a different server.
That sounds important, so he'll tell Rahul about that.
Yeah, and you tell Rahul.
Yeah, it's phoning home, just not where you'd expect it to be.
As near as you can tell, it's not any of the official Zaburo channels. But now this begs the question of, if you knew there was another server receiving information, how would you physically find where it is?
As a human, as a player, I have no idea, but would Hashimoto perhaps be able to make a trace on the IP and try to break through any,
with 4 successes that you already have on your roll, okay, I can tell you that's not enough. Wherever this is going is hidden under several layer, like at least some sort of protection, like VPN and stuff, that you need to get.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what a VPN was. I couldn't remember the name.
You can keep the success you already have, but you're going to have to find a way to claim more successes. This is like the anime moment of, it's going somewhere, but I don't know. I would have to get some more information somehow.
Well, since doing it their way isn't as much fun, I'm going to try and re-roll that and stack on.
Oh, you're gonna invoke your force of personality?
Yes.
Okay. See, that's what it's for. If I was renaming force of personality determination, which I think might be a better name for it. To know this information fills you with determination. And don't forget that when you also roll this, you have to see your motto.
Do I still get questioning and do I still get streetwise and programming?
Yep, procs double dip. They count as extra successes twice. So you'll actually be boosting this from 4 to 5, 6, 7, 8. If you're wondering why the menus go like 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, it's because your procs also double dip. So yeah, we totally expect you guys to be doing this. But don't forget you have to see your motto. What was your motto?
Doing it their way isn't as much fun.
Yeah, doing it their way isn't as much fun. Click the tab. Wait, come over here. We need 4 hands on my keyboard. You guys are sick of me yet?
No.
4 hands on one keyboard. Okay. Based on some guesses of other sorts of packet information, whoever these people are, they have some serious level encryption. At first, you suspect it might be, first you rule out, well, this isn't petty criminals, so maybe it's high-level criminals. Then you start to get worried, thinking maybe this is government-level type people because it appears to, they're spoofing their data and encrypting it at the same time at real time, which would require a certain level of hardware that you think would be above that of the average person. But like you think this is like, are they using military grade hardware because it's really good? But they might be good, but you're better. And after doing it your way and invoking a couple tricks, you think you isolate the traffic to Japan, which isn't that weird. The headsets aren't even supposed to be able to talk outside Japan. And instead find that you think it might be somewhere in the Kansai Industrial District.
All right. Does he get like a geographical range of possible areas?
This is where the assist bonus comes in, because you say, well, you think the packets are being bounced around, but they're probably somewhere in this area. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there an abandoned factory that you guys broke into in this district?
Yes.
That happens to be in this. So when Hashimoto shows you the map of, well, here's several places it could be, it's like, wait a minute, that spot, I've been there. That's the place where we stole the headsets from in the first place.
Nice.
Very interesting.
Related to this, there's a knock on Raul's door.
Okay.
Well, I assume you're at your like burner apartment, right?
Pretty sure I do.
Yeah. Okay. So you're at your apartment. So throw a tarp over your obvious stuff, I guess. But yeah, someone is knocking at your door.
I'm just going to pick a very nice 2-inch, 5 feet long end mill off my lathe. Have solid carbide, sharp as a knife, and go wander about and see who's at the door.
Okay, so I assume you're gonna push a button on your computer to check your camera, because I would assume that's the kind of paranoid person you are, that you have an X10 type camera outside your door, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could also use the people, but I'm assuming that this isn't that hard to set up. So you'll check the camera as soon as the door. There are. I'd like you to make a roll of mind and observation.
Oh, I just thought of something. Would an appropriate use of cheating power be to refill a dwindle die?
Interesting. I'm going to make a note about that. I think yes, using a cheating power to recharge to cheat on cooldowns and dwindles would be an excellent use for it. But I'm going to have to run the math on that because that would be really easy to abuse. So yes, but let me get back to you.
Okay.
Should sabotage streetwise apply?
Go ahead and include your streetwise. Okay, with one success, you can see that there's someone at your door.
That would be 3 successes, actually.
Excellent. Well, you can see there's someone at your door. They're dressed in plain clothes. It's a plainclothes Japanese man. But you also know your camera's blind spot because you set it up as good as you can to look down the hallway or whatever. And you can see that there was a foot in the blind spot, like as if someone... It's a suspicious shape that looks like somebody who's trying to avoid being seen by your camera. So there's one person you can see and one person who's trying not to be seen. You know this because you're keen streetwise senses, so you know that you don't know.
Okay.
But it's just a plainclothes Japanese person at your door.
Okay. As I said, I have this toad, this huge piece of shiny, very sharp, very wicked looking metal in my hand that is totally normal to have for somebody running machines.
Right.
And with that piece of shiny, totally not threatening metal in my hands, I will answer the door.
Okay, so you'll let them in. Or unlock the door and see who it is.
Unlock the door.
Okay. All right. Well, you'll unlock the door. I assume you still have the chain on there. It's a short, middle-aged man. We've seen from outside, and he says, "Hello. Is this? Excuse me. Are you Mr. Real Name Tanaka?" Or whatever fake name you use to register the room with. And he gives you the fake name that you registered the room. He says, I'm Inspector. Now, does anyone remember the last name of Nell's character? Because I've already forgotten. I want to say Ateo, but I don't think that's right.
Ah, damn it. I don't.
I'm going to go with Inspector Ateo for the moment because none of you guys know.
You know
so, in fact, I'm not even sure you actually met her character. Anyway, the person is I'm Inspector Ateo. I'm from the Kansai Police Department. I'd like to I'd like to ask you a few questions. It's nothing serious. We're not accusing you of any crime, he says in an overly reassuring voice. What do you do? Go mute. Apparently that's what you do.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know.
Well. Okay. Okay, if you give me, I am rather busy right now. If you could give me your card, I can contact you and maybe set up a sometime that we can talk.
He once again he speaks very formally, pronouncing his words very precisely. I would be happy to give you a card, but really, this will just take a moment, and I have come a long way. He's going to try and intimidate you into letting him inside. Would you like to make a? I'd like you to make a roll of will and presence, and you get an extra success from Streetwise because you're a criminal. It's not intimidated by the police. How do you sleep at night, sir? Like a baby.
I have a favorite answer to that question, but I never say it in polite company.
Yeah. So, have you committed any crimes today?
So just one success.
Okay. Just one. The way the guy says it and the way he stares at you, a lesser non-career criminal might have been intimidated by this. I mean, you feel like you. I guess you would curse yourself, like, I'm not supposed to feel fear from police and authority figures. What am I, some street punk? I'm Rahul, super criminal. So he fails in his attempt to. There's a brief moment where you feel intimidated, but you wash it off. So do you? You say you're just going to take his card then?
Yes, please.
I'll say, if you would feel more comfortable, we could speak out here outside in the hall. It will really only take a few minutes.
Oh, I'm certain that your friend would love that.
His face is expressionless. And he'll say, okay, well, he'll say, then he'll, Trace will have expressionless moment, and then he'll say, well, I respect your privacy, Mr. Tanaka. I'm sure we can come to terms. And he'll reach into his breast pocket and pull out the business card like all Japanese businessmen do. However, when he extends his arm to give it to you, he will attempt to grab you. Do you want to try and evade his grab, or do you want to try and stab it?
I kind of feel that just putting this giant razor blade of death that a well-made carbide tool is just anywhere near his body should make him come back to his senses, but let's go with evasion for now.
Right. Because since you have a weapon ready, you could counterattack, but you're also thinking like that would look a little weird. Okay, it will be a roll of speed and evasion, and you may claim an extra D8 because you're still behind the latch door. He also doesn't get a surprise bonus because you're suspicious. If you hadn't been a career criminal, I might have successfully intimidated you. Okay, I have rolled in secret, so I have rolled a 6, and you have also, wow, that's a lot of evasion. And you've also rolled a 6 on your, it should be speed and evasion. Oh, and a bonus D8, right. Wow, you have a lot. It's like you're a career criminal.
I have 3 dice in evasion, yes.
Yeah, it's. I was just thinking, oh wait, you're a career criminal. Okay, so when he reaches for you, you back off. In a tie like this, we would come up with a tiebreaker. You have cover, so when he tries to reach for you, you can just back up, and he can't come inside. All right, so he grabs at you with his hand. So now he's got his arm in the door. Do you want to yell? Do you want to stab at him? Do you want to kick his arm out of the door? What do you want to do? He's trying to get in.
Okay. I'm going to press the door gently, well, not very gently, but since he put his arm so nicely in the door, why not take his arm as a hostage?
Okay. Pressing the arm against his, trapping his arm in the door is going to be a roll of body and fighting. You're starting to regret having a burner apartment with it. This door looks solid, but not as solid as you would like. Stupid cheap burner apartments.
I feel like we're going to get into that weird part where we're all badasses in real life for some reason.
Well, it is an anime, and it is. To quote my favorite X-Files episode, I didn't spend all those years playing Dungeons and Dragons and not learn something about courage.
I have 0.
Right. You have evasion.
Oh, sorry, I do have, actually. Sorry.
Yep. Wow, I've rolled like ass. Yeah, you rolled a 4 and I've rolled a... You've trapped his... you put your... like a boss, you leverage your back against the wall and push the door with your foot. Because I assume you want to keep the knife in your hand. Yeah, and you've got him wedged there. He doesn't scream or make any pain. His arm. Yeah, and by the way, I did roll. I found out there's a way to roll in secret. It's called GM rolling.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that's what you were doing. I was just like, all I see is a 4 to 3.
Yeah, since this isn't a monster in a video game, this is a real life person. I'm rolling in secret, so I've actually rolled a 3. So, you trap his arm there. His arm does that kind of flailing thing where it's going up and down, and it's stuck in the door. You keep the door wedged shut, and then you will hear a pounding noise on the door. The plainclothes policeman and his friend are apparently punching the door with such force that it's starting to splinter. Crunch, bash, bash, crunch. You might have 1, 2, maybe 3 rounds before the door is just destroyed. So they're punching it with 2, 3, 3 arms. You can keep holding the door shut, or you can try to do something else. Hear the gears turning.
I'm just trying to figure out what would be the best way to go now.
I'm assuming that since you're a career criminal, you probably have an escape route already set up. Like, you probably picked one that had a good fire escape. Get out and get in. Yeah, where he says getting punked with the... I mean, do you want to flee? Do you want to fight? Do you want to try and reason with them?
I think I would first want to reason with.
Okay. Well, you can try to use presence to intimidate them, or you can try to use negotiation to say, hey, look, you don't want to break down this door. I've got friends, etc. You don't use deceit and just tell a big fat lie. What do you want to do?
I don't really have any presence, so my options are limited here.
Yeah, you're more a sly criminal.
Yeah, I have deceit and nothing else. So...
Well, no, not nothing else. I'd like to repeat, you also have evasions. You could just flee. You're really good at that.
Oh yes, I mean for the
Right.
reasoning with.
Right. You prefer to be on the undetected side of things. So,
Yes.
all right. Well, you could try to tell them a big fat lie, like, I'm not the one you're looking for. I'm friends with the Hitsusanas from Mori Yakuza. They'll be on your ass over this or something like that. I would not heed Susano's advice of let them stab you to death, but call the ambulance ahead of time. We'll file that under Plan C.
They'll never see it coming. It's the Andrew Jackson of plans.
Oh no, what are you going to do, Rahul? Everything's all eyes on you.
Oh, damn. Sorry. I have a empty brain moment.
I understand. It's a little pressure. Like I said, well, if you want to tell them a lie or something like that, that would be will, because it's your personality, and deceit.
Let's go with something, but I can't think of anything useful.
Okay, because like I said, you could also try to run out your escape route, which would be a roll of speed and evasion, which you are really good at. Okay, so you start shouting at them like, "Hey, this is police brutality. I've got friends." But you only score one success, and that doesn't seem to dissuade these two angry guys who are pounding down your door. You're starting to suspect they might not be cops.
All right.
They continue pounding at your door. Let me roll to see how they're doing with that. Okay. You're the one guy is still trapped because you still have his leg. You still have him wedged in there. He doesn't break free, and he's punching awkwardly. His friend is doing a much better job at punching the door. You finally get a good look at his friend. His friend is at least half a head taller, and is wearing he's wearing a baseball cap and one of those. He's wearing a baseball cap, dark glasses, sunglasses, and a surgical mask that hides his, like those paper surgical masks that people wear, anti-pollution. Yeah, and he's also like wearing a hoodie, so he looks like a thug. He's punching the door repeatedly. He has gloves. They now have splinters in them because your door's made of wood. It looks like they've got one more round of punching before they get through the door. What do you do? Do you lash at them? Do you run away? It looks like they're not the reasoning type.
Okay, so right now I think that I am going to try and stab at this guy who is more aggressive type.
Okay. You lash out with the knife at the punk-looking guy.
I would say it's a mace rather than a knife.
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought it was a lathing knife. It's actually just a lathing piece. Okay.
I am going to Google up some images for you to understand. But
okay, so it's a big, heavy, blunt carbide object. Okay, my bad. When I think of lathe, I thought maybe it was like an industrial lathing part. But it's a big, heavy metal carbide rod. Okay, so you're gonna all right. Swing away. That would be your roll of body and fighting. You take your foot off the door to get some extra leverage because you put your whole body into it. I have rolled a 4, so you have hit me for one success with an improvised item. Let's see. I will try to soak the damage. Okay. There is a loud you swing at him, and he you think you hit him, but he flinches, so you knock his arm out of the way. He will back off from the door. He taps his panic save to avoid getting hurt. So you make him back off. You don't think you got a really good hit on him. He rolled pretty good on his soak. So, wham! He just backs up. The plainclothes cop, now that the door isn't being held in his arm, his action is he kicks the door, which splits in half. Part of it still hanging from the chain, but now it's just you and the plainclothes cop standing on the doorway. He's staring at you. His face still has that weird polite expression on it that he had before. It's weird. He's not flushed or anything, despite the fact that he's got splinters in his hair and his hands.
Yep, that was why I did not think about fleeing, and I'm thinking about.
It's your turn again. Do you want to run? Do you want to swing? The other guy retreated from view because that's how you recharge panic zone.
I am going to swing.
All right. He is going to attempt to punch you. He rolled a 4 and you rolled a 4, so that's a simultaneous hit. You will take. He is surprisingly strong. You will take 2 points of damage. Roll your body dice and then any endurance dice that you have.
I have no endurance.
Okay. So you'll take that from 2 points of damage down to 1 point of damage. In order to avoid being incapacitated, you must reduce that 1 to 0. You're in the real world, so you can't use level soaks, but you can use your other soaks instead. I believe as a criminal, you started with sneaky soak, right? Or did you start with something else?
I have panic soak.
You can tap your panic soak, which will negate the rest of the damage, but now you are afraid and no longer fight. So unless you have another soak, you'd have to tap that one.
Theoretically, I do have rogue soak, but I'm not sure if it applies.
Rogue soak also works in the real world. You didn't spend all that time playing virtual reality games and not learn a little bit about fighting. You can tap rogue soak instead, which is the one that recharges when you hide, but doesn't make you panic.
Then yes, definitely I would prefer that one.
All right, all that criminal activity. When you hit him, you made a solid impact on his shoulder. He didn't grunt or anything. It felt pretty solid. You don't think you broke anything. You think you hit him, but he does. He does take a step back and looks a little confused. On his turn, you can tell that you actually tapped his panic zone. So on his turn, he's going to step out of line of sight. But this means the return of his hooded companion, who will step into the room. And his hooded companion comes at you with both hands extended, like he's going to grab you. You could evade or counterattack with the lathe or something else. Well, actually, those are the only two things you could do: either counterattack or evade.
I will counter with my end mill.
That is a roll of body and fighting.
And I am thinking about. Oh, well, let's see.
Hello?
Yes?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, did I miss your roll? Did you roll body and fighting?
Yes, I did.
Okay, my bad. Apologize to dead air, everybody. Okay, okay, we have tied again. He is going to grab you, which causes a whopping 1 point of damage. My bad, I missed that roll. The rolls aren't labeled, so I never know which. So you're going to have to roll your body and endurance against 1 point of damage.
Okay, I guess it's time to tap the panic cell.
Okay, let me see if I can soak. Okay, you will whack the hooded guy with the bar across the face. And I'm not going to tap Panic Soak this time. Instead, when you whack me across the face, you will knock my glasses off and my mask, and you will see that I don't have a face! I've got just some weird kind of formless mannequin thing with where one part is just featureless and the other one is just some weird kind of camera looking at you, like this kind of a black glassy infrared camera look. My grapple will fail, but you became panicked because you had to tap Panic So yeah, you'll hit him, knock the mask off, and then when his head turns around again, you can see, oh my god, what the hell are you? But on your turn, you are panicked. Means you can't attack. So I'm guessing that what you would probably do is flee.
But he's in a single room with people at the door.
I assume that he has a window and a fire escape route in case the building catches on fire. So you could flee out that way. I said that earlier.
There he goes.
Yep. Because I'm assuming that any career criminal would also... You chose this place because not only was it cheap and indistinct, but also you had multiple escape routes. So yeah, when you hit the guy, da-da-da! Oh my god, you're not human! So, since you're panicked, I assume you're going to try and flee.
I don't seem to have much choice here.
Okay, and don't forget the inspector guy in the back. Okay, make a roll of speed and evasion, and I will give you bonus D8 because you're on your home turf.
What was the bonus?
It's
D8.
speed, evasion, and a bonus D8 because I'm assuming this is your house and you have an escape route plan in time. Okay, that's 2 successes. That is easily enough to go out, get out the back door, and get out of here. If you had to pick one item or one thing you wanted to do before you left, what would that be?
I will snatch the modified
Headset.
Headset, yes.
You will grab the headset, go out the window, parkour down the fire escape. The entire time you are being sued. It's not long before the hoodie guy comes after you and starts coming down. Do you want to hide in the shadows? Do you want to run to a public place? Do you want to hail a cab, or do you want to do something else or take the subway, or do you want to do something else to try and get away from this guy as he chases you on foot?
For now, hide.
Okay. Do you have clandestine or stealth as a proc?
Clandestine.
Okay, good. Clandestine is the ability to hide in public places. I won't make you roll again. I'll just go ahead and add that as a 3rd success because you need 3 successes to get away from this guy because he's pretty fast and pretty alert. But you will even though this is like a city street, you find like doorways to hide in and places to blend in. not necessarily public places, but or semi-public, where you'll see that the guy pursues you, and he runs naturally, but then he'll stop on a dime, and then stop and look one way, and then turn 90 degrees, look another way, turn 90 degrees, look another way, and run. So it's weird. It's like a bunch of natural movements, but they blend into each other unnaturally, like, say, a bunch of mocaps that stack on top of each other. Weird, huh?
So kind of like that automated telephone voice that says, press 9 to do this.
Yeah, or if you've ever seen, like, canned animations, like, well, in Second Life, like, one goes to another one without a segue. Speaking of that, Hashimoto, Rahul went quiet for a little bit, but then his computer comes back on, and says, "Hey, sorry about that. I ran into some trouble. I think I don't feel right talking on the computer. We need to meet up."
All right. When and where?
I'd like you to make a roll of mind and questioning.
You know what I got on this? A whole D6.
Yep. There's something. His tone sounds really weird, like really, like like he's like, instead of typing in the usual kind of shorthand and Japanese as a second language, this is a lot like clean. It's different. You're wondering, is he trying to signal me that he's being watched? Is this someone else? You with one success, you don't know.
Yeah, let me guess. It's a little more formal than he usually is.
It's just different jargon. It feels weird. Armed with this knowledge, what do you do?
Well, he didn't say come alone. So, Kanishiro will call Jikai and Oshiro.
So you'll give him a place to meet you.
Yeah, and then he'll call the other two and let them know what's going on. And he didn't sound like himself when he was on the phone or on the text or whatever we were using. And I'd like some backup.
Yeah, see, I feel sorry for Rahul because, like, it's like, I know he would have locked his computer before he before he answered the door, because that's just a single keystroke. But later, if Rahul finds out about this, is like, wait a minute, did they hack my computer in my apartment while I was gone? Man, I sure hope walking computer people didn't invade my house. Yeah, so, but that, I think, is going to be revealed for later, because Rahul is probably going to make, after he ditches his robot friend, will then start to get his burner phone out and text you guys. Meanwhile, you guys are going to have a completely different encounter. But also, I have a 1:30 appointment today, so I'm thinking a cliffhanger like this is a good place to leave off for right
now. I called it.
I know, like, we didn't get everybody quite involved, but
no, it's just the episode where you see me in one clip wearing giant, like, scrubs and everything because I was a trash man today, and that's all I did.
I know. I feel bad, guys. But guys,
at least we're back to the killer robots trying to kill us.
We're back to the killer robots, and I have a lot. I've already mentioned I got a lot of work to do, so I can't stay too long. So, Susanna, what was your motto?
Oh shit! I forgot that's me.
Yeah.
Oh, what a hero you have found in me.
Yeah, someone has to do all the cleaning.
It's not even my job. I'm not a garbage man.
And Hiraku, but what is your motto?
What am I doing here?
Yeah, really. Like, why am I doing? Oh man, I wish my life was more excited. Meanwhile, Rahul being chased through the streets.
I'm gonna show up at the meeting and just be like, wait, what am I doing here? I'm not a criminal. Why am I trying to evade their heat?
And Katsu, I believe you invoked your Hashimoto. You invoked your motto today, which was never do it their way.
Doing it their way isn't as much fun.
And Rahul, while you're hiding in the shadows of the city streets, being pursued by a weird death robot, what is your motto?
Observe and act.
Observe, act. Well, whack. Well, he's not human, so act. I'm gonna leave. Okay. And also, once again, as a reminder, everybody during the debriefing, a major reason why we have panic soak built into the game is because if you watch action stories or whatever, people will flee. Whereas in role-playing games, people usually just fight until their hit points are gone. So, like I always like to point out, this is working as designed. Like Rahul's a tough customer. He's got sneaky soak, and he sat there and he gave him a couple lumps, but he is at number 2 to 1. And by the time the panic soak kicks in, that's supposed to be the cue of, okay, maybe it's time to leave. So
maybe now's not the time to fight to the death.
Right, and that's built into the storyline. It's something I really like about the Cardinal game system of, I need to get out of here. So, are you guys having fun? I know we did a lot of deep tech talk, but...
The tech talk was fun, though.
Yes.
Well,
I
appreciate hearing that, guys. I've got a lot of work to do, so thanks to everybody for the support, but I also have I have a 1:30 appointment outside, so I gotta go.
Take care.
All right, so I'll catch you around later.
Take care.
Stay awesome, everybody. Thanks very much. By the way, you all get 2 experience points, so
Woo.
take that.
Goodbye.
All right, well,